Hey guys, this is Jackie M from Masters of Malaysian Cuisine. We are back, day number 3, and we are doing Malaysian Heritage Cuisine celebration in partnership with the Malaysian Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industries. And right now we have vegan chef Dave Murugaya over in the Kontiki restaurant at the Federal Kuala Lumpur. Hey Dave, how you doing? Good to see you.
Amazing. Hi guys, wanakkam, salam sejahtera, hao, apa khabar semua?
Yeah, we're so incredibly excited to have you, Dave, and you look splendid. And by the way, guys, don't forget to say hello. Let us know where you're watching from and hit us up with any questions during this live stream. This is a very special event. It's being cooked in front of a live audience over at the Kontiki restaurant. And also, we are live streaming it across the world, right? Like I said, guys, make sure you say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. And we're just going to start off by quickly playing a clip from my conversation with Dato' Haslina, who is the Secretary General of the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industries. And we'll play that and then we'll come back to Dave in a minute, okay? Now, what untapped markets globally are you looking to reach into in 2021?
Well, we have always made our effort to modernize and diversify the agro-food industry into more integrated and dynamic farm-to-fork concept by linking up the entire value chain of farming and food producing activities. Well, you were asking me about the untapped market, of course, I think you're already well aware that we have ACO, our agriculture counselor, and 8 countries such as Sydney, US, Beijing, Tokyo, Dubai, UAE, Thailand, and Netherlands. Of course, they will cover other countries within their scope. But of course, we are looking at probably Central Asia and also African countries, which is we see quite I think more potential in the future.
Oh, interesting. Very cool. Yeah, look forward to see what happens. Okay, we are back. Yay, Dave, how you doing?
Amazing. I'm really excited to share with you guys another heritage cuisine and another heritage food of Malaysia from Indian heritage, I would say. That really one of the favorite dish of all Malaysian, especially when they go to banana leaf restaurants. So today I'm going to show that in a vegan version.
Okay, great. I'd love to find out a little bit more about it. Now, guys, I'm going to remove myself out of the camera view so that we can get our full attention on Dave and what he's cooking. But Dave will still be able to hear me. So pop your questions on screen and I'll read them out to Dave. And Dave, take it away.
Okay, hello guys. Hi, wanakkam, salam sejahtera, hao. Once again, apa khabar semua? Okay, just with my greeting itself, you know how beautiful is Malaysia with all the diverse language, food, and the heritage we have in Malaysia. So allow me to speak in bahasa before I continue for a few seconds. So kawan-kawan yang tengah tengok live chef Dave ini, mungkin kamu tengok kenapa chef cakap bahasa English, sebab ini audience kita dari seluruh dunia tengah tengok makanan warisan Malaysia kita. So that's why I nak cakap bahasa English. So kalau tak faham tak apa, just tengok saja pun mesti kena faham bahan ingredient yang chef akan gunakan dari Malaysia. So guys, let's get started. So for making Chettinad Varuval is a very traditional and authentic dish in a South Indian cuisine. So for making this, normally people make with, like mutton or chicken, but I'm going to make with Herisham mushroom, or we call that lion's mane mushroom, or some people even call it monkey head mushroom. Okay, so let me show you guys. So these are the mushroom, but maybe you're from different part of the world, couldn't get this mushroom. It's okay, fine, don't worry. You can use any type of mushroom that you feel is suitable. The closest that you can use is the grey oyster mushroom that works beautifully fine for this particular recipe. I would strongly suggest not to use shiitake mushroom because it has very strong flavor, so it will have some fight over the flavors of the spices and also the shiitake itself. So apart from that mushroom, any mushroom will work beautifully fine. So 3 steps for this particular Chettinad Varuval. First is deep frying of this mushroom. Second is making our homemade Chettinad spice, masala we call it. And then third is to put all together to make a beautiful Varuval. So let's get started with the first deep frying of the mushroom. Okay, so I just turn on the oil. Okay, so now if you look at the Parisian mushroom, so it's like a sponge. You have to soak in the water and squeeze out all the water and then just get the dried form. So you have to repeat this process about 3 to 4 times until you get clear water like this, or else it will be cloudy. If it's still cloudy, means it's not ready. You have to squeeze out until you get really clear water like this, so that the flavor of the mushroom will be in a good palatable, or else it has a strong flavor which is not really nice to go with. So you can use the fresh one, but the things about this mushroom, the dried one, you have to soak and do this process 3 times and you will get chicken-like texture. Okay, so if you use the fresh one, it gives you a seafood-like texture. So that's the trick between the fresh and the dried Parisian mushroom. But if you use some other type of mushrooms like this, then just go ahead. Don't have to worry about the dried or fresh or whatsoever it is. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to just tear them. Just no need to use knife like that. You can see it's like the chicken breast. Okay, so it's really a meaty texture, especially after you deep fry and make them into the Varuval. It's really tastes amazing. If you, let's say, don't really have this mushroom, you don't really have and you don't like mushroom, so what you can replace with, you can always use young jackfruit. Young jackfruit works beautifully fine as a meat replacement, or you can use mock meats, soy chunks, or even tofu. So all sort of things to replace this mushroom. So this is one of the popular ingredient among the vegan communities. Some people will say, how come you guys don't eat the real chicken but still looking forward for this chicken? It's okay. It's fine. As long as it's fine and you can have this as you like. Okay, so there's no any issue with that. Okay, so you just do that, and here we're going to marinate them before we deep frying them to give them a good intact flavors in it, or else it's just flour and oil. So kita tak nak. So we want something really, really strong. You know, suddenly I speak in Malay because too used to make my live section in Malay. So what are the ingredients I'm going to marinate with? Yes, with some chili powder and also some coriander seed powder. So I use about 1 tablespoon of coriander seed powder and half tablespoon of chili powder. Okay, and then just going to add some water in it. Okay, and just mix this well. Okay, all the mushroom, everything just go in well. And just give a good stir.
We have lots of people saying hello to you, Dave, as is always the case with your
Hi.
people from all over the world, as far as far away as California. Must be a middle of the night in California right now, to be honest. To sunny Melbourne, everywhere. So everyone, yeah, let us know where you're watching from.
Okay, so once this process is done, so all the mushroom is coated well with the flavors of the spices and as well as the coriander. So now I'm going to add about half cup, this is whole 1 cup, yeah, just half cup of chickpea flour as well as half cup of cornstarch or maybe you can use plain flour if you couldn't get a cornstarch. So just half cup of chickpea flour and half cup of plain or cornstarch, up to you guys, whichever you guys prefer. And some salt. Okay, so just mix that well like that. So this method actually is more like a Chinese style of deep frying method, but I, because grew up with Chinese community and as an Indian, so I like to mix different cooking method in the food. So normally Indians, they don't coat with so much of flour like that. So they normally do the wet version. So personally, I like the dried version for deep frying, especially for recipes like this. So I'll just add a bit of water so that it's not too dry and so that it can absorb more flour, so it will be really crispy at the outside.
Hey Dave, is it possible
Yes.
for your overhead camera to either pan to the left a little bit to see your hands, or for you to move a little bit towards where the woks are? Yeah.
Is that okay now? Okay.
Good.
So you have to get some sort of texture like this, and you always can add a bit of flour so that it doesn't stick to your hand. Okay, so once you mix in well like this, it's time to fry them up. Okay, so I'm just going to add them in. So the result of this will be exactly like fried chicken. Don't be surprised if you never tried Haitian mushroom. You should try, and I believe people here who came, they will have a chance to try this today. And people who are watching online, hope you guys can try it out wherever you are from next time.
I am definitely going to look up. Look for.
If you came Malaysia, I'll make sure to cook this for you. Don't worry.
Do it. So we've got people watching all over Malaysia as well. We've got Sabah, Penang, Johor, Kuala Lumpur, of course, everywhere. Lots of people.
Okay.
Selangor, Puchong in
Amazing.
Selangor. So yeah, again, thank you guys for tuning in, and don't forget to listen in for Chef Dave's secret keyword towards the end of this session, because you can use it to enter our giveaway.
Exactly. If you guys want to get the free giveaway, have to watch until the end and make sure listen carefully for the keyword.
Yeah, that's right. So giveaway link, let me just post it here.
Okay, so meanwhile we are deep frying this, we don't waste our time. Let's move on to making of the Varuval masala or the spices. So for making Varuval masala or spices, what we have to do is we have to dry roast some fresh herbs and spices. So the ingredient we'll be using for that will be, let me show you guys in a few seconds. Okay, here you go. So will be half tablespoon of black pepper, will be 1 tablespoon of cashew, will be half tablespoon of fennel seed, will be 1 tablespoon of cumin seed, and half tablespoon of coriander seed, as well as 2 tablespoons of grated coconut. And here you go, chilies. Chilies is the core and the most important part of this particular dish. So I have here 2 types of chili. One is the Kashmiri chili, and another one is the normal dried chili. Why I use 2 types? Oops. Okay, so the normal dried chili give you the spiciness for the Varuval, but the Kashmiri chili will give you the bright color and really beautiful color, but not the spiciness. That's why I love to mix 2. Okay, so we will dry toast all these ingredients and blend them, turn them into spice. So we don't use from the packet. But of course, if you feel like, it's just too much of headache, I want to use something from the packet, definitely you can use some chili powder, cumin powder, coriander powder, fennel seed powder, or just use some chili powder and coriander seed powder, that's it. So it's always up to you what kind of flavor you're looking at, but this is the authentic way of doing it. Okay, so meanwhile, we can look at it. It's like, oh my God, for us vegan, this is our KFC. So look at it. How can you agree this is not KFC, right? If I don't tell you, you might believe this is it. Okay, so just have to take this out.
So Dave, you mentioned chickpea flour earlier. I've never used chickpea flour. Like, how do you use it?
Okay,
Like,
that's normally in Indian cuisine we use chickpea flour for like making pakoras, making some chickpea tosai, or we call chickpea chola and all that. So yeah, chickpea flour is used a lot in Indian cuisine as well, but quite less in other cuisines in Malaysia especially. But yeah, so that gives you it's kind of replacement for egg, especially when we come to do this kind of dishes, deep frying, right? Normally, as a non-vegan, in the past, I might use egg flour and all that, but for this, I just use chickpea flour, so it is kind of a replacement for egg.
Okay, so it's like it gives that sticky factor to whatever. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, and the cornstarch or the normal, plain flour is to give you just to coat nicely and also give you some crunchiness. That's why I love to mix both of that. But if you just want to use chickpea flour, it's fine, but you won't get the crispiness out of it. So that's the reason.
Right, gotcha.
Okay, now let's start with so what you need to do is just turn on the fire, and first you have to start from the Kashmiri chili. First of all, because it's bigger in size, it will take longer time compared to the rest of the spices, which is just in a small pieces. So just add this in, just dry toast them, so no need oil or anything. If you want to cut them into smaller pieces, it is okay, no issue, but you want to just put it like that, it's fine as well.
Cool. So did you say those are Kashmiri chilies, did you?
Yes.
Okay.
So if let's say you doesn't want to go through this process, actually you can even get Kashmiri chili powder. So so basically this chili powder, it's just look really red and spicy, but not spicy at all.
Okay.
So,
now, Mehdi is saying that your apron is nice. Guys, this is a special very limited edition apron that we printed specifically for this series. It's got the MAFI, Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industries logo, and also the Masters of Malaysian Cuisine logo. And we've got some of them up for grabs in our giveaway. So if you haven't already, make sure you sign up at malaysianchefs.com/MOMC-giveaway. Okay. Along with a ton of other prizes. So go over there and check out. We haven't even had time to list the other prizes yet, but there are actually more prizes than what we've got listed there. Okay. Practically everyone who takes part is going to come away with a prize. So make sure you sign up today.
Exactly.
So Dave, why do you use Kashmiri chili? Is it different to other types of dried chilies, or?
Yeah, as I said, this particular chili give you a bright, nice, beautiful color, but not extreme spice, extremely spicy. So that's why I love to mix two types. So as you can see, roughly like this, and it's really like loaded up, then it's fine. Okay, so we just keep aside. So now we can add in the rest of the ingredient, because the rest of the ingredient all are small sizes, so you can add in together. So when you will know it's ready is when your cashew start to become brown, as well as your coconut, grated coconut, getting dry, like curry seed. Curry seed is like the dry coconut version that we use a lot in our Malay cuisine. So add all this together and dry toast them together.
Great.
Okay, so make sure the fire is not like really high heat. Just put it in a medium so that you don't burn them, but you slowly let them to, come back the flavors, because dry spice, the flavors are intact in. So you have to bring them out again. So just slowly dry toast them, and then you will get a beautiful flavor of spices later for your varuval. Okay, so meantime, we can see our so-called vegan chicken is ready. Okay. So this is like really beautiful.
Nice. It does look like chicken. Looks like fried chicken.
Yeah, like chicken popcorn, right? Okay. So just keep doing this.
So we have, again, lots and lots of people saying hello. We've got G saying hi from Melbourne. Like I said, everyone's saying hi, chef, hi, and
Hi, guys from every part of the world. Love you guys so much. So hope you guys really take this beautiful opportunity to learn some Malaysian heritage and try it out wherever you guys are. Even in Malaysia, it's okay, because a lot of our heritage food is actually seems like lesser and lesser people trying out these days. So I think it's time that we have this campaign with Mafi to bring this all together again. So as you guys can see, grated coconut is trying to turn brown, and as well as the cashew start to slightly brown. So you can slow down the fire and just keep doing this. Okay, keep doing this and off the fire, because even you off the fire, the wok is still hot, so it still can carry over cooking. So have to be very careful. Don't leave this in your wok and do something else. Then you will burn your spices. Once your spices is burnt, then it turns bitter. So we doesn't want our varuval to turn bitter, but we want it to have the fullness of all the flavors of the spices we add in.
Now,
Okay.
Dave, when do you know to fry the spices dry, and when do you fry them with oil?
Okay, so for this particular recipe, basically what we are doing, this process is we are making our own homemade chili powder or curry powder. So that's why we don't use the oil. Okay, and for normally the spices we use oil is for tempering purpose. So where we use the packet chili powder or curry powder, then you have to use oil for the spices. But for this, you are making the spice powder. So definitely you can't add oil into this. So just clean up
And
your
this, can you make it in a big batch and then store it?
Definitely you can make it in a big batch and store it. But normally, if you make in a big batch and store it, we don't add cashew and we don't add the grated coconut. We don't add both of them. We do that separately. Next time, whenever we want to do varuval or curry, we just put all the spices, chili, curry leaf, and all that, just dry toast and turn them into powder, and just can store it. You can keep for years, no any issues. So, but if you add in the grated coconut, cashews, then you can't do that because it gets spoiled easily. But definitely this, if you keep in the freezer for a month or two, shouldn't be any issue. You can keep it. Okay.
Sure.
So now this spice, what we're going to, along with this Kashmiri chili that we have toasted earlier, we're going to blend them into a spice powder. So just use a dry blender or spice blender if you have at home. Just add all this in and add all the chilies in. Okay. It's a bit too much, but it's okay. It still can squeeze in a bit. Okay. Okay, here you go. So here you get a beautiful spice that homemade. So it depends if you want much finer, then you blend a bit longer. For me, this is just perfect for Varuval, so that's it. So you just keep aside. By the way, I just can't resist looking at this. I just want to show you guys how it's looked like in the middle before we continue. So it's basically just like the chicken breast part. Okay, so it's really really beautiful. I say I can't resist. I really feel like I want to eat some.
Now, Dave, speaking about your heritage, can you tell those who don't know about your Malaysian heritage, like where in Malaysia you grew up and what it was like?
Okay, my story is a bit quite interesting. I was born in Sarawak, Borneo, because my dad was working as an army there. So I was born there, but I grew up since young at Johor. So what actually I'm cooking today is not really particularly from that part of the world, but it's more from Malacca, where all these Indian traders, they came from South India. So particularly from this place called Chettinad. It's a state. So they came over to Malacca. So they brought these kind of spices and cuisine to Malacca. So basically, if you go to Malacca, Malacca is very famous for specifically Chetty cuisine. So it's basically what I'm doing now. It's um, using all the spices that are it's quite similar to the southern Indian food, but they have their own uniqueness of adding coconut, adding cashews and all this in their cuisine. So now, as we can see, the wok is really on fire. So we just add a bit of coconut oil. Okay, you can use any oil, but try not to use olive oil. It doesn't work, trust me. So you can use any oil, any cooking oil, but not olive oil. It doesn't really work. So here I have a few important ingredients that I want to show you guys. Okay, very important for tempering this particular dish to give you a beautiful flavor. We call this in Malay empat sekau. What does it mean? Four friends. So basically we have cinnamon, star anise, we have cloves, and also cardamom. So I just put like one small piece of cinnamon stick and two small star anise and two cloves and two cardamom. So this has to go into the oil, give you a beautiful flavor. This is very important. And then we can add in curry leaf, just about one stalk will do, and some dried chili. So this is very important for tempering purpose. So it gives you a nice fragrance and smells to end on your dishes. Okay, so just saute this for a while. This process is very, very, very important in this entire dish. So how beautifully you saute your ingredient, add on with the spices and everything, it turned out a beautiful dish. If this process you try to do it fast without properly done, then the flavors won't be infused to the oil. So the oil is very important during this part as well. So now you can add in ginger garlic paste. So I use about 1.5 tablespoons of ginger garlic paste, or you can use minced ginger garlic. If you want to use your mortar and pestle to pound it, also should be fine, no issue. Okay, so now you see once it start to like caramelize a bit, okay, then you can add in shallots. So I add about one big red onion. You can use shallots or red onion, should be fine. But of course, shallots taste better. So depends on you guys. So that actually doesn't really matter much. So as long as you use a red onion or shallot, okay. So you have to saute this really well until it's translucent. The color of the red onion slightly turn into light pinkish color. That's where you know it is ready. Okay. So I hope you guys can follow up to now. Don't to panic about, oh, it's like so many ingredients. Don't worry, guys. As I said, you guys can use some chili powder, coriander powder, and all that to replace the spice powder. You doesn't have to go through all this process. But if you feel like, oh, I want to do something really traditional, how our great grandparents did back in Malaysia those days, then definitely you should try this method. Of course, those days we don't have blender like this. We use grinding stone to grind them, to pound them, use mortar and pestle and all that. But today, everybody convenient. We are using all these kitchen tools and equipments to help us, appliances, so that to save our time. Okay, so this is the most important process. As I said, I remind you guys again, don't rush through this process. Make sure it's really sorted well, and you have to smell from the aroma itself. You know when it is when it's really done. Okay, so just keep doing this, and you don't let it burn as well, because once your ingredient that you are sauteing is burned, then it gives you a slight bitterness, which we doesn't want. Okay, so just keep doing this. Okay, so now it's almost done. You can see the nice color of it. Okay, it's almost done. Voila, the beautiful part is going to enter in this sour spice. This process, you can turn off the fire, because or else if the heat is too much, then you might burn your spice again. So turn off the fire if you can't control. Okay, add this in. Okay, so and don't ever add water immediately. So the reason why we want these spices to cook through in the oil for a few seconds before we do anything else. We want this flavor to infuse to the oil that we have sauteed. Now you can on back and put in a medium or slow fire, and just let these spices mix well with all the oil first. Okay, so the oil is still hot actually. It's already started the cooking process, so don't worry. So you just have to do this for a while before you do anything else. Okay, so okay, now you can add a bit of water. Okay, so just add to this grinder so we don't waste some spices still left there.
Dave, Michael is asking, where can you buy Kashmiri chili?
Actually, in Malaysia, it's quite easy to get Kashmiri chili, like any grocery stores or supermarket. Actually, they have it. But overseas, I think maybe you can look into the Asian grocer. Maybe they might have it. I'm not so sure. But when I was living in UK, it's quite easily to get in especially the Indian grocers. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Now you add water. Not too much, because you are not making curry. You are making Varuval. Always remember this in your mind. So Varuval basically is like the Malay version of rendang. So this is like an Indian version of rendang. So just keep in mind that don't add too much. And we're not going to use santan or anything. So it's just basically water and the spices. Okay? So the reason why we add water is we want the spices to really cook through. And at the same time, we want it to be dry, so we don't add too much. Okay, so at this point, we can add a bit of salt. Okay.
Michael is saying the fritters look like fried soft shell crab.
Sorry?
Michael is saying the fritters look like fried soft shell crab. The mushrooms.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so now it's the time you can add in your mushrooms. Okay, so you can see it start to thicken up. So you can add in all the mushrooms in. Okay.
Nice.
And then just give a good stir. But of course, you have to add a bit of water so that it coats really properly well, or else it won't coat nicely. Because remember, this is not chicken or this is not meat, because meat has fat in it, so it will help to mix well. But this one is dry fried item, so definitely you need to add a bit of water and just high heat to let it really cook through and also mix well. But remember, don't put too much water, then you will lose the crispiness in the Varuval. Okay, so this is a special kind of crispy at the same time dry and spicy, and the flavor of Varuval is still there. Okay, so now at this point, you have a very important secret ingredient to add in because Varuval typically is spicy and a lot of flavorful things, but it needs something to balance. So normally, Indians we use brown sugar. We use brown sugar, but personally, I like to use gula melaka, South Malaysian palm sugar. It gives you a beautiful flavor to the end of this dish. So I'm just going to add in a bit of this gula melaka into this. So a good gula melaka actually you can just break with your hand. If you can't break, it means it's fake. So yeah, a lot of things they're using white sugar and telling you it's gula melaka. Gula melaka you can break with your hand. So you have to go to Malacca to get this beautiful good source of gula melaka. So a lot of even Malaysians they don't know about this particular thing. So I think it's very important for us to aware that we know how to shop. Okay, so just let the gula melaka to mix well and give you a nice sweetness and spiciness. And don't remember, so when cooking, I always remember fat, acid, salt, and the sugar part, right? So acid, definitely. You can use any source of acid, so like tamarind or lime juice or lemon juice. But for this, particularly, I felt lemon juice is the best thing that you can add in. Okay, so lemon juice doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit, just to enhance the flavor. We doesn't want this become a sour or sweet dish, but just to enhance the flavor, just a bit of lemon juice. Finishing, turn off the fire. After add lemon juice, don't continue cooking. If you continue cooking, the sour, because lemon has a sweet fragrance and also even though it's sour, but if you continue cooking it, it will turn into bitterness. We doesn't want that. So just turn off the fire and add in curry leaf one more time. The reason why, because the first curry leaf give you the fragrant influence in the oil and give you a beautiful flavor. The last one, it gives you much stronger flavor and the color of the curry leaf will be beautiful compared to the first one because the first one is already, you can't see them anymore. So that's why you add in last. Okay, I haven't tasted this. I don't know how does it taste like. Seems like confident, right? Okay, let's try this out. Oh my God.
Can you go through the spices again for us, Dave?
What are the spices?
Yeah.
Okay, so cumin, 1 tablespoon, half tablespoon of fennel seed, half tablespoon of coriander seed, half tablespoon of black pepper, and cashew 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of grated coconut, about 5 numbers of Kashmiri chili, and about 4 to 5 numbers of normal chili, dried chili. It depends on how spicy you want. This is really super Malaysian level of spiciness. Okay, so if you can't take this much of spicy, please reduce the normal dried chili. The Kashmiri chili won't make you feel spicy, so don't worry about that. Yeah. Okay, so now we can just take this and serve on a plate.
That looks fantastic.
Yeah.
So Varuval typically is made with chicken, is it?
Yeah, normally they make Varuval with chicken. So this is, I call it unchicken Varuval. Okay, so because the chicken is not here anymore, so it's Asian mushroom. So this really give you a beautiful flavor. And at last, just top with some coriander leaves it gives you even much beautiful flavors and taste. So that's how simple and beautiful you can make your homemade. As I wanted to say chicken varuval because it really tastes like chicken just now. So make me forget that it's actually mushroom. So yeah.
Very cool. Dave, your main camera is down, but we can see the dish, but not your face at the moment. But in the meantime, guys, if you've got any questions at all, just hit us up and we'll get Dave to answer them. Lots and lots of praise about how amazing your food looks. You've got lots and lots of admirers, of course, as usual. Dave would know. Dave is our is our rock star chef. I call him our rock star chef because he alone has hundreds of thousands of followers. But yeah, we've got Annie watching from England, someone from Sabah, and lots of people in between who didn't say where they're watching from. But of the ones who did, Melbourne, California, the Netherlands, KL, Malaysia, Penampang, Sabah. Yeah, oh, there you go. Chef Dave's front camera is back. So yeah, Dave, anything else you want to tell us about your dish? Any last tips or anything like that?
As I mentioned earlier, I mean, like some people who might allergic to mushroom or couldn't get this kind of mushroom from the part of the world that you are living in, always try to find some substitute. You can use any type of even actually you can use some vegetables like broccoli, even cauliflower, young corn, mixture of that to make this dish, or even like this young jackfruit, like I mentioned earlier. But of course, young jackfruit, you don't go and deep fry it. You just blanch it in hot water and immediately take it out. And then just add in at the finishing last minute and give it a stir and take it off, because jackfruit very easily will overcook. Once it's overcooked, then it doesn't work anymore for this kind of meat replacement recipe. But of course, meats like definitely works like the best actually. But personally, I like this. So yeah, I think try at least once to make the homemade version of the masala, the spices, and you will love it. You will never go to the packaging one. But if you want to use the packaging, just go ahead. It will more or less the same, but this will give you even the better flavor and fragrance. So yeah, I think that's all about it. And is that time for me to give them the secret code or keyword?
Yes, give us your secret code for those of you who stuck around. Yeah. The secret code, Dave, is?
So the keyword for you guys who are watching, looking forward to win the giveaway is Bakar, B-A-K-A-R, which means burn. Which means burn, okay? So yeah, I think that's all about it for today.
Can you repeat the giveaway? Can you repeat the
finishing? The battery is finished. Yeah.
The battery is finishing. All right, guys. I hope you caught Dave's giveaway. All right.
Did Jackie still in the line? That's what. That's
guys, if you missed the secret keyword, since Dave's audio just gave out at the last second, is let me look it up for you guys. Okay, just give me 2 seconds. Does anyone know in our group who can tell us? You're allowed to actually post it in the group. Just let me have a look.
Hi, okay, yeah, I can hear you now, Jackie.
Okay, good. So Dave, can you repeat the secret keyword?
Okay, the secret keyword is Bakar, B-A-K-A-R.
Okay, Saratha got it. Bakar, B-A-K-A-R. Okay, guys, and you saw the link to sign up to our giveaway, https malaysianchefs.com/MOMC giveaway. And Raw Chef Yin did ask a question: if she doesn't want to deep fry the mushrooms, would she bake it, or what would she do? But you also mentioned blanching earlier, so yeah.
Work for the young fruit blanching method, but for this, if you don't deep fry, then you can air fry or you can use baking, but it will be a healthier version. So this need oil. So if you want healthier version, then definitely you can bake or do all sort of things. But it's just that because how should I say? Because even if you do all the baking and stuff, but for tempering the spices and all that, you still need oil. Just with water or less oil, the flavors is not able to come to the highest point that give you the best flavor out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I feel bad for people who can't take oil for one reason or another. But yeah, sometimes with
Yeah.
certain recipes, it really makes a big difference.
Sure,
All
sure.
right. Well, thank you again, Dave. You've been amazing as usual. And thank you everyone for actually repeating the keyword on screen for us. A whole bunch of your followers got it and was got baka, baka, baka. That's very cool because your
Guys, make sure jangan baka. Make sure you guys go and give the gift and follow through all of that section.
Yeah, and I had forgotten what it was, and I was going online. So what did I tell Dave? But anyway, thank you again, guys, for being such good sports. Thank you. We had some issues with the audio a little bit, so thank you for your patience. We do the best we can because in live streaming environments, all kinds of things can impact how the audio sounds. So thanks again for your patience. And for those who keep nagging and say, "Oh, can't hear," whatever, I just mute you guys. Okay, sorry, but I am reading the comments. We do, like I said, we do what we can, but sometimes we're limited in what we can do. But yeah, thanks again, Dave. Amazing work as usual. And guys, make sure you share this out and so that we can get more people to watch this. We really appreciate everyone tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in actually just a few minutes because our next chef, Nyonya Chef Debbie Teo, is coming on and she's cooking a couple of dishes for us. Yeah, excited about that. All right,
Sure.
fantastic work, Dave. Really appreciate you. And we will see you around again soon. Ciao.
Bye. See you guys.